the last video, we learned about the 3D industry pipeline and positions for 3D artists. So maybe you could feel related to a certain position and easily say, yeah, I want to be a modeler or a VFX artist or any of the other positions. Maybe you came to that choice because you are very interested, although you don't have the skills. Or maybe you have some skills, but you're not completely sure about your interest. It's nice if you already have some aptitudes, abilities or skills to perform artwork or 3D images. But if you haven't any skill, don't worry, you will certainly learn them. Your mental attitude is what should play the most important role in making your choice. You must feel the interest, the orientation, the commitment, and the passion to do something. Make no mistake in investing time and resources in developing skills for something you don't feel passionate about. In many standard careers, you study everything first, and only in the final stage or even after graduation, you look for a specialization. But the 3D industry is atypical. You could be a master in modeling without knowing anything about VFX, lighting, or animation. Even inside a position, you can be a specialist. For instance, you can be a master in VFX in fluid dynamics without knowing anything about crowd simulations. You could start at once looking for a specialization, but over time it's quite likely that the question, what if, begins to show up in your mind. What if I would have chosen the other position? So, the more healthy decision is to be a generalist first, for 3 reasons. 1. You will have the full picture of the pipeline in your mind, and this will help you to understand the relationship between the different processes. 2. You will understand the value of every position in the pipeline. 3. You will have more criteria to choose a specialization. When you go for a specialization, you will be comfortable and happy because you will be aware of the value of your position and how your work depends on and affects others. Many 3D artists dream of working for a big and famous studio. That's okay. If that's what you want, go for it. Build up your reel, get exposure through the social networks, and go to the big studios' websites and apply in their web pages. But if you are determined to work alone in your own business, even so, you should consider having contact with the industry first. You could look for an internship or explicitly work for a studio for a year or so. This will be very helpful to build your own business with more criteria and experience. Besides, you will share your work with other artists and you will receive feedback to improve your work. You will also gain contacts that will help you get clients to your own business. Should you trust your house construction to a self-learning architect? Or should you trust a corneal transplantation to a friend who has read a lot about this procedure and is very enthusiastic about ophthalmology? Of course not. You will only trust certified professionals with the appropriate degree and experience in the field. In the 3D industry, this is not always the case. There are masterpieces of 3D art in films and games that have been done by talented self-taught artists. So, the experience in the 3D industry says that having a master's in arts or a bachelor's degree is not necessary for some artists. Let's repeat the last part. For some artists, it does not apply for all. So the recommendation is as follows. If you can afford the time and money, please go to a good art school. Not for the academic degree, but to gain knowledge and to train your skills to build a good show reel. If you cannot afford the time and money to go to school, there is still hope. but you will have to properly plan the learning process. Please take into account the following points. 1. It would be desirable if you could get a mentor, a friend artist with experience, so that when you have doubts, you can consult. If you can't afford this, then you could pick your favorite famous 3D artist and start studying his or her artwork, reading his or her publications, and listening to interviews and podcasts. You could also participate in quality art forums to post your doubts and receive feedback. 2. Plan, control, and evaluate your learning process. Learn in detail about every different process in the pipeline. Learn in detail about your possible specialization. The internet is a great source to find information, but you must be very careful about selecting the training materials. Video training is okay, but you must also get and read formal books about every process in the pipeline. 3. Complete the learning process with other disciplines, otherwise your artwork could end up being not artwork at all. Get formal books and learn about traditional art, photography, composition, and color theory. 4. And finally, put in practice everything you are learning. Well, that's all for now. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you soon in the next one.